Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Pollock. I am an attorney who helps other attorneys engage the audiences that are vital to their firm's success, including their clients, their referral sources, their employees, and the media. In this video, how to craft winning case studies for your law firm. If you're watching this video, you probably already know the value that law firm case studies provide. They're a great way for your firm to show its target audiences, its clients, its referral sources, the media, its employees, the general public, the great work that the firm does for its clients. They are fantastic marketing pieces, they're fantastic business development and sales pieces, but there is a way to construct particularly effective case studies. So let's walk through them right now. The first step when you're crafting effective case studies, you've got to get the client's permission, obviously. ABA Formal Ethics Opinion 480, which I'll link to in the description here, explains that lawyers need to get their client's approval to discuss aspects of their case, even if those aspects are already public through court filings, media reports, etc. So you want to get your client's permission first and foremost, and you really want to have them be a participant here in the process. You want them to perhaps contribute some quotes. You want to perhaps have them approve the case study. You want them involved. You never want on the back end to get feedback from the client that this case study does not accurately represent what the firm did for them, or they're not happy with how they're portrayed. Those could be customer service problems, they could be ethical problems, so you want the client on board from the get-go. Another tip is to make sure that you pick a client that you think is particularly emblematic of your ideal clients. You don't want to pick a client that is a rare case. Even if you had a huge recovery compared to your normal personal injury cases, you don't want a client to go a case study to profile a client that's too far afield from your target client. You want, as I'll tell you in a minute, you will want your prospective clients to see in the case study themselves. You want to be a mirror, not necessarily a window. So I'll cover that in a moment. So we have the ethics side. We want to get the client's approval. We want to have a client that we think is the perfect client, our ideal client, so we can explain to the world that this kind of client is the kind of work that we do great work for. Okay, so we want to tell the client's story here. The case study is, of course, about the law firm's work, but it's not only about the law firm's work. You want it to be client-focused. You want to make it a narrative, a story. Don't simply just list bullet points about the problem, what the firm did, the solution, and how happy the client was, and you add a quote. Do more. Tell a story. Make it a narrative story. And here's how I suggest that story proceed. The client is the hero. The client has a problem. Your law firm and its attorneys are the guide. They find the client, the hero. They find the hero perhaps at a bad, low spot with a problem. And they guide the client, the hero, through this difficult process. They call them to action. They have them do things and put into motion a plan that helps the hero, the client, persevere and accomplish the goal that they wanted to accomplish. The hero is not the law firm. The hero is the client. The law firm is the guide. The law firm is the helping hand. The lawyers are the helping hands, not the heroes. And you can see when you think about this format, this works in practically any legal practice a law firm might have. It could help with personal injury. It could be applicable in personal injury. It could be applicable for criminal defense, for family law, for estate planning. It could even be applicable for business-to-business law firms, where you've got perhaps clients facing regulatory issues, or private equity issues, or M&A issues. Just imagine a recent issue at a recent situation at your law firm where a client had a problem, and your law firm helped guide them through that problem, through that journey, out to the other side where they achieved a successful result. So we have that kind of hero's journey. So you want to tell that story, and like every other piece of good content you produce, you want to tell that story in a way that flows, that is easily digested by readers, is not heavy on legalese, is not heavy on jargon. You want it to go down easily. Now, me having said all this, I'm not talking about a 20-page case study. A case study could be 700 words, 1,000 words. It doesn't need to be a long treatise, but it should be more than just a few bullet points. It should be a narrative exercise, not simply listing down some quick, bullet points. Now, after you have the story after the story created and you have the client approval, now you have to think about distribution. And you can distribute it on your firm's website, through its social media channels, through its email newsletters. And I would argue whenever you have a client that is in a very similar position to one of your clients who are profiled in a case study, use that case study. Send that link or that PDF to that would-be client and let them know that this case study came about because of a client in a very similar position to that particular client that you are trying to get to come on board with your law firm at the moment. Case studies for law firms are fantastic tools. They are effective marketing tools. As I said, they can be effective sales and business development tools, but there's a right way to do them. Get approval from the client, pick the right client, tell the story in a compelling fashion, and make sure you're strategic about your distribution of your firm's case studies. If you have any questions about your law firm's case studies or any other questions about thought leadership marketing content in general, visit lawfirmedgehill.com. We've got blogs and videos like this that will surely help you with your thought leadership marketing content and case study efforts. Till next time, thanks for watching.